If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm today to get started. Hello, self-developers, and welcome to the Patrick Kelly Podcast for Self-Development, where I will be reviewing audible books on self-development that can change your life for the better this year and years to come. It is said that if we keep on doing what we always did, we will keep on getting what we always got. In other words, to change our output, we first have to change our input. Today is January 16th, 2022, and this is episode 3 of season 2. And today we'll be reviewing the audible book, How to Change Anybody, Proven Techniques to Reshape Anyone's Attitude, Behavior, Feelings, or Beliefs by David J. Lieberman, PhD. This audible book teaches you how to reshape any person's behavior, attitude, feelings, and beliefs for the benefit of themselves. Warning: please do not use the following techniques to manipulate a person to do what would not be in their best interest. Please do not use these techniques to hurt people, only to help people do what would be in their best interest. If you feel that you may have psychopathic or sociopathic tendencies, please wait for the next week's podcast. The psychological strategies presented in this audiobook allow you to navigate a way through a person's emotional blocks to create lasting change in almost any area. They will allow you to make anyone a better person. How to change anyone's beliefs and values. It is easier to believe in something if there is nothing at stake. It is easy to have values when you don't have a conflict. When you create a conflict between what a person believes and what they want, you will throw a monkey wrench into his or her thinking.
Technique number 1.
The power of emotions. Emotion creates motion. Emotions, and not statistics or data or cold hard facts, are the energy that fuels our thinking and choices in life. 90% of decisions are fueled by emotions and then justified with logic. When you reach a person's emotions, you can reach the real decision maker within. If you are a salesman, analogies and stories will invoke an emotional response in order to entice a person to purchase your product or service.
Technique number 2.
A first-hand account. This technique uses social proof and cognitive dissonance in order to work. Social proof is a powerful tool of influence that says when we see others, particularly those we respect and admire, do something, we are driven to adopt similar attitudes and behaviors, which is why advertisers use celebrities in their ads. If this person who I like and I look up to uses this product, then I should too. If your younger child does not want to eat their vegetables, tell the child if you want to grow up big and strong like your brother that the younger child admires, you will need to eat the same vegetables that your older brother did in order to grow up big and strong.
Technique number 3.
Acts of kindness. If you are having trouble getting someone to like or trust you, have an act of kindness in order to win them over. It is difficult for a person to dislike another person when the person who they do not like is always displaying acts of kindness towards them.
Technique number 4.
Houston, we have contact. Contact between two groups of equal status in pursuit of common goals can decrease prejudices. Try to get a person who may be prejudiced to another person to be part of an activity like a sport or community project with the very person who he or she holds a prejudice. Without pitting one person against another, once one person relies on another person to complete a task, the liking of the other person will increase. Cooperation between two people is important in order to achieve success.
Technique number 5.
Motivate anybody to lose weight. Convincing someone to lose weight is not a matter of convincing them to do so, but rather of making it easier emotionally for him or her to do so.
Solution number 1.
Please help me. You can help someone lose weight by having him or her do things for you. If you ask a person not to buy sweets because you don't want to have them in the house, or you want the person to join a gym with you because they can help you work out, you will get the person to change their habits without agreeing to do so. A person will be willing to do something for someone else rather than for him or herself.
Technique number 6.
Strike while the iron is hot. Anything that's put off until Monday will probably be put off again. Inspiration comes with a built-in window of opportunity. Whenever people are motivated to change, help them to do so. By not delaying action, you engage cognitive dissonance, which means the unconscious mind adopts the belief that what they are doing is important to them. Once you take immediate action, something becomes more important. This is also known as having a sense of urgency.
Technique number 7.
Part of a pattern. Behavioral change is easiest to make when the new behavior is incorporated within the context of a routine or pattern. In other words, if you want a child to do their homework, sandwich in a behavior between things that the child really likes. When the child comes home from school, he or she will first have a snack, then does the homework, and then plays outside. The order should always be the same and the time as consistent as possible.
Technique number 8.
How to change anyone's emotional state for the better.
Solution number 1.
A long-time investment. When we live only for today, we are telling our subconscious mind that I don't care what happens tomorrow. This kind of thinking can harm us emotionally. When you tell yourself I like me enough to put time and energy into who I am, you are taking time to establish self-worth.
Solution number 2.
Pure joy. Depressed people need to feel alive. Joy, which is the anticipation of something pleasurable, is different from happiness. People who are in a poor mood may have difficulty enjoying themselves. When given something to look forward to, depressed people can plan and lose themselves in their thoughts about this wonderful future event. When we are excited about something, we come out of our shell and connect more to life, and thus want more to be part of the world.
Technique number 9.
Give the gift of self-esteem. Get anyone to like themselves more. Self-respect is the gateway to self-esteem. We like ourselves when we respect ourselves. How do we gain self-respect? We gain self-respect when we do what is right over what is easy, or over that which only makes us look good. When we don't act this way, we literally like ourselves less. Within all of us, 3 intercourses are at odds with each other: the body, the ego, and the higher soul. The body wants to escape from life through sleep, entertainment, and endless distraction. The ego craves attention and control. The higher soul wants to do what is right. Doing what is easy or comfortable is a body drive, such as overeating or oversleeping. In effect, doing or not doing something because of how it feels. An ego drive can make us buy a car that we can't afford so that we can be all flash but no cash. When we let the ego take control, we are not in control of ourselves. When we make a choice to do what is right, we feel good about ourselves. Only when we are able to choose responsibly and do so do we gain self-respect, and in return, we gain self-esteem.
Technique number 10.
Change anyone's mind and change stubborn behavior anytime.
1.
The crowbar. Taking a person to a no to a maybe. You want your friend Marcus to hear you out on a new idea, and he is totally resistant to listening to you. Tell Marcus that he can think about it, listen to, or read more information about the idea only if you can perform a truly difficult or amazing task. For example, you tell Marcus to write down on a piece of paper a number from 1 to 100. If you can guess what it is, then he will agree to what you want. Why? Because Marcus believes that there is little chance for you to guess the number. In getting Marcus to agree, you have shifted his belief system.
2.
Saving face. A person needs to deflect a direct hit to the ego and justify to himself and possibly others his belief up until now. He needs to ask himself why I believed something for so long that was untrue.
3.
Quantify. To change a person's thinking, you first need to get him to define exactly what he means. This technique is used a lot by trial attorneys. Plaintiff.
I was a hard worker.
Attorney.
What do you mean by hard worker?
Plaintiff.
I worked hard at night and on weekends.
Attorney.
Every night and every weekend.
Plaintiff.
Well, no most.
Attorney.
How many nights a week?
Plaintiff.
3 or 4.
Attorney.
Consistently, or whether there's some weeks where you didn't work late.
Plaintiff.
Well, around the holidays I was off early.
Attorney.
So you not only didn't work late, but you took off early, and isn't it true that you took off 5 sick days?
If the attorney did not quantify what the plaintiff meant by hard worker, he would not be able to poke holes in his statement. You can only take something apart that has parts. Once you can quantify it, then you can pick it apart. Closing thoughts. On a scale of 1 to 5, I would give this audible book a solid 5 for having multiple techniques on how to change anybody for the betterment of themselves. To find out more about this audible book, go to www.audible.com and download this audible book, or go to www.drdavidlieberman.com to find out more information about the author. Remember to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you do not miss an episode. And also remember to share this episode via text or email with friends and family and other people that you care about. Follow me on Twitter at Kelly Podcast or Instagram at PatrickKelly_podcast for more episodes of the Patrick Kelly Podcast for self-development and a free, did I say free? Yes, free 30-day trial of Audible Plus. Go to www.thepatrickkellypodcast to sign up today. If you'd like to donate $1 or more to the support of this podcast, click the donate button at www.patrickkellypodcast.com or go to $Patrick Kelly Podcast on Cash App, and I'll be sure to thank you on the next episode. This is the end of this podcast for today. Tune in next week Sunday for the next episode and the next audible book of over 300 books that I'll be reviewing on the Patrick Kelly Podcast for self-development. If you enjoyed this podcast, take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts. This really helps me out. Feel free to share this podcast with someone you care about. And remember, your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. Take care.